welcome to Lily Mercer and Friends. I'm here with Shakka. Welcome. It's a very exciting interview, actually.
Sorry for mocking your gesticulation. I just really enjoyed it.
No, that's bonding, right?
Yes,
that's how
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Like you do like silly things to break the ice, and then eventually someone giggles it off, and then you're like, okay, we're friends now.
It's true. I mean, I didn't really do psychology properly, but I feel like there is something in that. You mirror when you want to reflect something.
Yes, indeed. I agree. I'm just going to agree with you because you mentioned the word psychology, so there must be some science involved in that.
It's like bamboozling you.
What's the word? Is it Jedi mind trick? That's what you're doing.
I would love the skills to do a Jedi mind trick.
Would you? Do you know how scary that is?
I don't think I've got the manipulation in me. That's why I'm like, I'd love to be able to. It's like Art of War style.
Yeah. I don't have the stomach in me to like, you're gonna do this and you're going to do this. Like telling people what to do, it's not really my thing.
I think it's not in your character as well. I feel like your character seems a lot more like wholesome and welcoming and happy. I mean,
I try to be. Yeah, I think it's too much Disney and also too much smiling faces on my parents and like everything's all rosy and sunshine and lollipops. So I can never really take advantage of people until they harm a family member or a good friend of mine, at which point I turn into the Terminator. Yeah. And I start Armageddon just reigns loose.
Because both your parents Dominican?
They are indeed, yeah.
Dominican people are the best. My best friend.
Oh, they're the best to you?
Yeah. Like I was basically, my second family are Dominican, so yeah.
Oh, swear?
Yeah.
Have you been?
No, I want to go. She hasn't been yet, and she won't go. She won't take me until she's gone yet.
Right, okay, cool.
So she's got to do the family, you know.
Yes, it is very important. It's very important. Our island is it's a small island, but it's a wonderful community of people. Resilient too. We had a friggin' hurricane about 2 years ago, Hurricane Maria. Just talking about it with a friend of mine, and to see an island come together and rebuild is very trippy and surreal to watch. But I mean, you know, it's 767, man. I don't think there's any place better than that, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely want to go, and I feel like culturally, because it's the whole island is a nature reserve. It's protected.
Yes, it is. It is. It's an eco-tourist spot. I think that's one of the best ways to describe it. Or rather, I've been told that. Excuse me, myself. And a lot of people just go there to just like find a different form of Caribbean. It feels like a Thomas Cook advert, but it really is like just I can't be proud of my island if I'm honest. And I'm second generation. Do you know what I mean? I'm born and raised in the UK, and my parents are like, you know, that's where their seasoning comes from. You know. But yeah, I try and put it in everything that I do, in the music, in the videos, in my accent and my vernacular. Do you know what I mean? Like it's important that I share that with the world. It's weird because like I feel like if I do songs that are like Afrobeat oriented or Caribbean oriented and people don't know me for that, then it's like, what is this and who's this person and where does this come from? But they don't. I mean, hopefully if they see a documentary that I've done, or like they'll I don't know, like dig into the Wikipedia page and find out like where my parents are from, then hopefully they'll put two and two together and be like, okay, that makes sense.
But you've always had a very West Indian sound, in my opinion, and like I wanted to ask you a bit about, because you working with Mr. Easy on your latest single. I've heard a lot of people refer to like Afrobeats as almost like the African bashment or dancehall.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing the two merge together in a new way, which is really beautiful. Yeah. So working with an Afrobeat artist when your music, it's not exactly like dancehall. It's so much more than one genre.
Yeah, I'd like to believe that. I mean, I've never had a name for the style of music that I make, and I don't think I could see myself having one. I'm a fan of R&B, I'm a fan of rap, I'm a fan of African music, I'm a fan of Congolese and Caribbean music and dancehall and electronica. Like there's so many beautiful bits in so many different genres. For me to be like, oh, I'm only going to do one, feels like sacrilege to me. Especially where I come from, like being in Notting Hill, like your next door neighbour is from Poland, and then your other next door neighbour is from Eritrea, and then your other next door neighbour is from Italy, and it's just like, it's just normal for me to be around lots of different ingredients and spices from different places. The music's no different, you know, and so it's quite naturally and quite literally in my DNA, you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like with Afrobeat in particular, like, as a writer, first and foremost, you want to write the best song there is. Like, in your head, you're like, okay, cool, like, I need to make the best chorus. And wherever you are in planet Earth, whatever song you're listening to at that time might be the best song. And it could be Celine Dion's song. It could be like, I don't know, a Bob Marley record, or like a an Outkast record, and in your head you're like, I want to write a chorus like that. You may not even be from that country, but that is your benchmark of great music. And so you're going to find yourself using slangs from that song. You're going to find yourself using melodies and styles from that song. And so it makes sense as to why Afrobeat, you might hear your favorite Afrobeat artist using Wanongodongia, because that is like, that's a phrase that you would hear from in a soca rave, or bend over, girl. Like that in itself is like, it feels like something that you would hear in a dancehall rave, and you know that that connects with human beings a particular way, and so you'd want to reincorporate that in your music. There's a lot of people that would say that, oh, it's appropriation, or it's like you're not from the island, so it's why is it normal for this to be happening? And I feel like writers and songwriters, like I said before, have been doing that since the dawning of the consciousness of sound. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, man, I'm just enjoying mixing things up and having fun with it and getting paid for it.
So it's a bonus.
I mean, hey, you know what I mean? To get paid for a hobby is rare, and I'm very lucky and thankful.
But
Yeah.
it's like what you were saying about like that side. I know what you mean about it being considered cultural appropriation to people that maybe aren't from London. But I grew up in Hackney, and like I was around like Irish girls saying "Wagwan." Like
Yes.
it's not like I do think of it as appropriation, so I tend not to speak
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
love
yeah.
Bashment, and I know like my favourite musician is Bridgie Benton.
Yeah.
But like there is a thing where it's like if you're from London, you are already introduced to so many different cultures.
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
West Indian culture is, in my opinion, sometimes the dominant culture in London,
Yeah, yeah.
regardless of what race you are.
Yeah, I feel like in London in particular, like you have, it's kind of like New York, like you just have this melting pot of like it's not like if you moved to a country or if you emigrated to a country, depending on obviously the history and what happened in whatever country, but it's not as if you erase your culture when you move there. Like you would come with a family, or you would come with a community of people, and that community of people will celebrate in the same way that they celebrated in the island or the land that they originally came from. The beauty of being in another country and doing that means that your next door neighbour can now discover a new way of dance, or a new way of food, or a new way of communication in general. I feel like London in particular, the way in which it's evolved over time, and the children of the immigrants and the children of the beginning of the melting pot, like we don't know any different. Like we just know that when you hear a garage song, you're gonna say stuff like could it be you, could it be me, and that's how you move, and that's how you dance, and that's how you sing. You didn't know that that's what you're meant to do. It's osmosis. You go to a rave and that's what your friends are doing, so you just start doing that. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I feel like that's the beauty of being in one of those spots. Yeah, music's fun.
Also, I feel, because we're a similar age, growing up in the time that we did, where UK Garage was like, you know, you were kind of sneaking into raves to go into UK Garage, and then there was grime coming up shortly after, and meanwhile there was all the drum and bass, jungle, you know, as well as your parents' music. So it's like the levels of different sounds that you were around growing up. Yeah, you came into music kind of at the most beautiful time, in my opinion. But do you feel like looking at like that, like you're blessed, but then at the same time now you look at it and it's like you are able to create your own genre because of that today.
But yeah, of course. I say thank you because I guess acknowledgement of my music, and also the time period being one of the best times. I guess like it's we had artists like Lab, and we had artists like, and still have artists like Lab and like Bluey Robinson coming through, and like even today we have Afro swing that's thriving now, and it feels like a very unapologetic but also honest and contemporary representation of what it means to first and foremost be a black British musician, but then also like to identify the evolution of what our music used to be and what our music is now. Like you mentioned jungle and you mentioned garage, and those are like the cornerstones of I guess the way in which we make music, do you know what I mean? To the point where now it's not even a thing to hear our accent with melody on top. Like that is something that was very rare when SBTV was in its infancy, when Link Up wasn't an institution like it is now. You know, like it's the comparison from then to now is huge. You know, and me in particular, like I like and love the heavy incorporation of romance and melody. Like I keep telling everyone else, like yo, like we've never been in a more beautiful time when it's blessed for a guy, like a originally perceived hyper masculine guy, to say stuff like "Said she wanted me away, said she wanted me away." Like it's romantic, but it's nice and it's sweet to hear. But the perspective that you're hearing it from is a male perspective, a traditionally male perspective that you originally expected to hear flames, like fire bars from, you know. And to hear that is, it feels good, man. It feels fresh. Like it doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel like someone's trying to force anything, you know. Like it's blessed.
I haven't heard someone actually address that as a statement. Like it's very true. Like the kind of stereotypical roadman now talks about love, where that and I don't think we've ever really had that in rap globally. Like maybe you look back at like Bismarcky, Just a Friend.
Yeah.
But like that was still quite kind of a softer approach. So that was a girl rap song.
Yeah.
Whereas now there is no girl rap. Like you don't make a song. Oh, girls will like that. It's actually that's the popular sound.
Exactly.
Like NSG, for example, like the sounds that they make, it's like like you talking about Afro swing. It's like it's not like it's just girl music. It's everyone loving it.
But I feel like, because I said the same thing about what I felt like was a second or third generation of grime. I felt like when German Whip and That's Not Me and Man Don't Care and even Robbie Workout was out, Trap was murking, like ASAP Mob was like the ASAP Mob. I think Travis Scott was like bubbling as well with Antidote, and then you had like a bunch of different songs that are around at the time. But trap and grime were cousins at that point. And if you went to a rave, it wouldn't be weird to hear, what's it called? A Future record immediately after, a Skepta record immediately after. Do you know what I mean? Like it just felt right, you know. And I think comparing that to a parallel now, like Afrobeat in particular. And I'm not talking Afro swing, I'm talking like the core of what contemporary African music sounds like today. Like that sound right now, you have a lot of people who are champions of the sound, including your Burna Boys or your Mr. Easy's or Wizkid's, like these, or Tiwa or Nini. Like there's so many artists to mention who are like at the forefront of making African music. But then at the same time, you have cousins from across the pond in the UK who are like your Husses and your Noteses and your whoever else is, like the all of the brothers and sisters are really just coming up with sounds that are in our own vernacular. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm doing Afro swing influenced songs. It's like I'm doing Afro swing influenced songs, but this is what it sounds like from my postcode. And the beauty of that is that you could see someone like Mr. Easy collabing with me, or you can see someone like Krept and Conan doing a song with Wizkid and not being weird. Like it just feels. It doesn't feel like, oh, we're doing an international collab. Yeah. At one point it did. Yes. It was like, oh, let's try and see what it's, let's expand the campaign and collab with who's popping off over there. Like now it's not even, it's like a phone call or a DM away, do you know what I mean? And that is exciting. Yeah. And that in itself, even though it's normal for us now, we really have to acknowledge that. Like it's growth. It's like, yo, like these institutions that exist where a lot of us are able to, like AJ, sell out Ali Pali, or like have an Afrobeat festival in UK, or have an Afrobeat festival in Ghana or Nigeria, and galvanize fans of African music and just the union of those different genres. I could geek out about these genres for hours, like I swear, like, but it's sick, man. We're in adult time.
But that's what's so interesting, is like you look at it from almost like not a music theory perspective, but you analyse the entire structure and the culture around music making. You're not just like, oh, I want to make a dope song that's going to sell. Like, your song with Mr. Easy, like that song, it's interesting because it's almost like, why didn't they work together before? It's like, that's such a natural, like you say, it's like, it is an organic collab, but actually you two are both really big names. Your sounds like merge in a really natural way. Yeah. So how did that come about? Because I'm sure you...
I mean, I was, Banx Ranx are producers that I'm fans of, that I've been working with for years. Like we did, we worked on Sean Paul's project recently. We did Shot and Wine with Stefflon Nunn, and worked on Answer Phone with Eyre, and obviously recently Too Bad Bad. And we just, whenever they're in town, we work. Whenever I'm in Canada, I work with them, and yeah, they sent me like a huge beat pack, and the beat was originally called Coco Mabul. It's shout out to Banx Ranx, and it's they're from Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe's next door to Dominica. When they make sounds, it's automatically compatible with what I've grown up listening to. So when I hear them, I hear groups like Kassav. Some people may not know Kassav, but I hear groups like Kassav. I hear groups like Caribbean, a lot of Caribbean/French influenced sounds. So I heard the beat and I'm like, nah, this is mental. This just feels like home, and so I'm just writing. But for me, at that time, I didn't want it to sound inauthentic, and so I studied. Like I went back and I listened to Fela. I went back and I listened to Easy, and I listened to Kassav again, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's find out where the pockets are, where the melodies are, where the right places are, and then I wrote. You know, a year later, my team was like, yo, what do you think of Easy? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, it makes sense. And we've worked before. Like, he asked me to work on his London Boy project. And we also did the song, what was the song called again? Takeover with the Beat Freaks and Shay. And so from then it was like, okay, cool, we've developed some kind of a working relationship, and became fans of each other's music. And he was on tour at the time when he was writing it, so we hooked up a studio session. He sends the verse back, calls me at like 3 o'clock in the morning and said, tell me you think of this one, bro. And I'm like, okay, cool. Bear in mind, I'm scratching crust out of my eyes trying to listen to this song, and he's playing it, and I'm like, why do you need to ask for my permission? You know it's fine. You know it's fine. And he's like, no, but I just wanted to, you know. And so it's the first time I've heard him sing in the traditional commercial sense of singing. Like, I've heard him use melody and I've heard him sing. Like, for me, this feels like he. Like, those aren't standard easy melodies. Like, this guy really said, okay, cool, let's try something like new, I guess. And yeah, it's dope, man. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Like, and the video itself, shout out to Component Geese.
The video is crazy.
Thank you. We worked hard for that video, man. In terms of art direction, in terms of styling, and we had crack shots in every corner. Shout out to Justin Rose and Sarita. Like, they really like put like thinking caps on and said, okay, what's the theme, what's the direction? Okay, cool. And they listened to what we were trying to say, and then actually researched what royalty looked like and what class and black excellence could look like. And we were lucky because, again, like you say, we're in a time where Afrobeat music is merging, but also with the sound comes the culture, comes the colours, comes the styling, comes the dance choreography. And so we have now, thankfully, many case studies to take influence from, you know what I mean? So when it comes to making that video, if we didn't make a video like that, it would almost be like an insult to the art form that's evolved to this time. So yeah, we just worked hard with the styling and with the colours and the grading, and yeah, man, it's the sexiest piece of work I've done in my life, that's far, if I'm honest. And I'm happy with the turnout. Proper.
It's a real richness to the video, and I think, to the song as well, that's why it's like they are actually a perfect counterpart. But like, how did you, because you're saying, so the song was like, you'd had the song kind of in your pocket for
Yeah.
So obviously that's a great lead single. Is it something that you're kind of like teasing us with more to come off the back of it?
Yeah, it's for me, it's like, do you know what's mad? Like, I don't, and I feel like my fans and just people who listen to me in general know about this. Like, I don't make the same song twice. Yeah. So I don't really ever want to be like, okay, cool, this is the sound going forward. But you will hear me singing, and you will hear me writing and saying things that I feel like people might want to hear, that I believe might help someone. Yeah, and not only that, but like, just, I feel like there's space for some more romantic Shakka, more sexy Shakka, and also just like I also want to challenge the stereotype of what it means to be a guy in 2019. Like, I feel like I have so many conversations with people about like hyper masculine being, especially amongst the black community. I feel like we have few nerds in pop culture, and we have a few non-hyper-masculine guys in pop culture as within the black community. We have examples of them, like your Childish Gambinos or your Andre 3000s or your Yeezy. Do you know what I mean? Like there's many, but those are like the ones whose net worth is like at least like 20 mil or 50 mil right now. Do you know what I mean? Like they created empires, whereas I feel like with music and with song and with video, I definitely want to like say to like my nieces and nephews, like, yo, you may not, even if you identify with the road, or you identify with the brash nature or with the butch nature of a particular idea of what you believe as a man, then bless, like do your thing, like roll with it. If you don't, then you can be yourself, you know. Like it's like it's not, if you want to say that you watch a lot of anime, or that you're the geekiest person in school, or like you're like or you have different ways to speak to women, or do you know what I mean? Like there's ways in which you can do it, and I want to be at least a poster child for people who are looking up to that guy, or who want to be that person with their best selves, and they feel like they identify with that world, that escapist, imaginative, cartoon and video game loving world, you know. I feel like it's important for us to create more stereotypes so people can be themselves. I think that's what my album is hoping to achieve.
I think you've always been going left when everyone else is going right. You've always stood out from the masses, and like nothing you've ever produced has sounded like anything else. Like you say, you've never made the same song twice. Your sound has never been like in any way a stereotype. Was that, because I know your dad was a musician as well, was that something that you were like quite like hyper aware about when starting to make music for the first time?
Yeah.
Like, I've got to be different.
Yeah, like, because we would listen to radio, or we would watch songs on TV, and you'd see artists come and go, and you'd see them like you were saying before, either do the American accent, or you'd see them like dress in a certain way that was like just a bit weird. Like I feel like moments like Fix Up Look Sharp, where we would see Dizzy with the Air Force One with some like sick calligraphy going on top of it, like in a massive yellow, or like Craig David, where he shot the video in a pirate radio station, or like outside the estate block with chicks practicing dance routines and stuff. Like these are moments that we cherish. These are moments that we connected with. These are moments where people are like, yo, I'm not doing what you men are doing, because it doesn't identify with me and my constituency. That's not me. It was also a moment like that. It cost him, according to him, when he achieved the MOBO award, 80 English pounds, and it's like, yo, like if we 50 years, 100 years, 150 years from now, people are going to be going back to these videos and looking back at these videos in the same way that we will go back to these encyclopedias, in the same way that it would be like, there once was a man who lived. Like, if you're like everyone else, you will be forgotten. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a promise. And in my eyes, I'm really not about not having a page in the Encyclopedia of London 2019. Like, I refuse. I'm sorry. Like, it's not happening. Like, we really have to just try and push boundaries, because that's what our idols did. You know what I mean? Like, we just gotta do different shit. Yeah, I've just been a purist of that. Like Outkast has been like one of my idols. The Gorillaz, Damon Albarn have been one of my idols. Like Missy Elliott, Nas, Jigga, Yeezy, Pharrell. Like, these are all like people who really just said, you know what, alright, cool, you do that, and I'm gonna do this to the best of my ability until people understand why I'm great. Or until like people understand that there are people like me that exist. Do you know what I mean? Like, the tribe's there, yo. Like, we really need to like let people know. So yeah, that's what I feel.
But I find like sometimes you'll hear people talk about like modern day Jamaican music, and they're like, oh, it's all like Vibes Cartel, like it's all very bashment heavy. It's like, well, you've never heard of Coffee, Chronics, Project. Like, there's a whole, and that's the thing. Like, I find that it's like yin and yang. If there's one thing that's solidly one thing, there'll always be a little drop of something else
there has
in the
to
mix.
Be.
So
there has to be.
Yeah.
Santi's an example of that. Like, he makes contemporary I mean, okay, cool. I'm not an expert, so I can't stand here and say he is the definition of contemporary African music. But what I can say is I ain't never heard like African music like the stuff that he's making, and it's not the same that everyone else is doing. Stylistically, sonically, writing wise, delivery wise, the people he's collaborating with. The guy directs music videos. Like it's and they're not dead. Like they're good videos, So yeah, I fully agree with that. I feel like we need to like. I feel like we're doing it anyway, and I'm cool with people saying X, Y, Z about a particular genre. I just feel like cream rises to the top, and evolution is part of life, fortunately. Yeah.
So final question, was there like a gem of advice? I mean, you've given a big gem there for any future music makers, but like, what was the thing that someone told you when you were first approaching music, whether it was your dad or someone else, that was like, that just took me on a whole next journey and like, you know, really influenced my creation?
If you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. His name is E.T. the hip hop preacher. I keep forgetting what E.T. stands for. It actually stands for a real human name. I'm bad with things like that. But yeah, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you'll be successful. It's the idea of how bad do you want it? Like if you say you're a singer or you say you're a rapper, like prove it to yourself and prove it to the rest of the world. Like, is it a hobby? If it is a hobby, cool. If you're complaining the fact that you may not be there or you may not be here, or and I'm not saying anything about anyone's careers. Like this is literally just saying like, for me, when I heard that, I was like, right, okay, like it puts everything into perspective now. Like, if I'm not doing my best today, then I can't possibly complain as to why I haven't achieved a certain goal that I want to achieve. I saw that for music and for life in general was a massive deal for me. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. I want to hear some new music soon. I'm sure all of these people
it's on the way,
on your case.
It's on the way. It's on the way. I'm just I don't go anywhere apart from the studio, man. Yeah. So yeah, the music's on the way. Too Bad Bad featuring Mr. Easy is out. My album's on the way. I have no name, but it will be sick. The tour will be coming soon as well. So yeah, man, you should come down.
I'm gonna be there.
Please.
Yeah, 100%.
It's gonna be a party, proper.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hope to see you soon.
Definitely. Till next time.